on the side. Here we go. All right, so sprint 8.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Wolfszeit channel! Today with a very special topic, always special. The new roadmap features. Let's look what Henrik showed us.
Hello everyone. We need balancing, right? It's impossible to make everyone happy. That is why we need to proceed on all those areas in a proper way, because we all know content is important also. We've been standing quite still since the engine updates. It brought a few issues, hurdles that we've been working on, spending a lot of time on that. And we have spent the 3 past patches focusing on bug fixing, over 140 bug fixing and polish. But you know, we're never happy with that, right? There's always more we can bring to the game. So we also need to obviously find new content for everyone to enjoy, because you know, if you've been playing for thousands of hours, it's natural you want to have new things, right, to keep playing. As you know, we did a huge patch that brought some lag issues in the world. We've been working on that problematic node if we don't fully iron it out on its own node, which means you will only be affected mostly when you're on that specific node. Currently, that looks to be the Tinrem node, unfortunately. So yeah, we are fully focusing on that. Obviously, we want to make sure that we have full capacity so everyone can join in and enjoy the game. So obviously that's a high prioritized order. So that always takes resources from our normal schedule, right? And the first sprint that we are looking at, sprint 7. One of the big thing here that obviously everyone have been asking for is character and world optimization. There are freezes in the games, and there are FPS that are lower than in other areas. You know, we have a benchmark for Unreal 4 that is quite high. So we're working towards that. So one of the big thing here is optimization, to make sure that we can support some of the content coming in the next sprint, which is obviously tied to character performance in the world. So we've already done some nice progression when it comes to character costs. We are throwing around 200 players on the screen, and you know, we want to make sure that it's an acceptable FPS so you can fight in a good way, because it's quite hard still today in the current build. So yeah, FPS less freezing is obviously one of the big things that we want to have in a good state for this game, as it affects everyone more or less, right? A lot of you guys have been asking for, since almost day one, the Clade Reroll token for Clades. Recreate a character to be able to play a new character. So that is also a support we're building for, which also allows to do a lot of other things in the future. We have a ranked duel system, so people can really show who is the best dueler in the world. Arena system in the future, which you will obviously be able to do ladder duels, which this system starts with as well. We have a cool little surrender system that also a lot of people have been asking for. You could probably do ping brackets pet wins, absolutely. Regions for that. Good suggestion if that's something a lot of people wanna see. The surrender system is a cool little system. You pretty much surrender, raising your arms, which allows someone else to peek into your inventory to see if he has something he wanna steal from him, rather than just go there and kill him. So a little bit like Rust. I'm sure you guys have played that. We have some updates in the mastery tree as well. A new mountable mount, which is, as you can see on the picture, the spider group this time. Look at this little baby. Look at this little baby. Can we do full loot duels? I mean, if that's an option we want, we didn't consider that in the normal dual rank system. It's a ladder system, quite sophisticated, similar to StarCraft. Like I said, there's room for getting feedback as well. Another spider here. It looks really cool and a little bit creepy. And we are also working on the climbing slope bonuses for mounts, which obviously is one of the spider strength and the ligator. So they also have something standing out a little bit. They will obviously not climb a 90-degree wall, but higher slopes than the current mounts. And yes, that is actually a huge system for this Thievery system. The Surrender system is not only that, it's actually a huge part of the Thievery system. So we get a big chunk ready for Thievery as well in our upcoming step. Accessing inventory, being able to peek into that and such, as you can imagine. We try to be as clever as possible when it comes to what can benefit on our big table of features that a lot of people want. What can benefit what, one unlocks what, and what is locking out our features. So that is what I call the little puzzle we put together as a team. So Sprint 7 is quite mixed, as you can see. It unlocks quite a few things for the future. Adds some cool content that a lot of you guys have been asking for. And the big one I would say that is very important and affect everyone, obviously. Character optimization and world optimization, so you have less freezes, more FPS, and can support better, bigger fights and wars, which leads us a little bit into Sprint 8. And the guild heraldry. The Relic War was just above the Dimension Run Hellgates, as you recognize it since we talked. But when we expanded on and put them side by side, it became quite clear that Relic Wars will benefit more players and more frequently than the Dimension Runs. So we picked that one, and it also have a few keys for the upcoming Dimension runs. Give feedback, suggestions, because again, we're talking about Sprint 8, so there's still time to do quite large changes if needed. So the Guild Heraldry is obviously very wanted system from you guys since day one as well. It's just been neglected a little bit between all the cool stuff, but it is really cool. Obviously, you'll be able to design your guild emblems in a very sophisticated way. We are outlining it right now, doing tests. And of course, it needs to fit with our character system and performance. That's always key, right? So we don't expand on cost when we're already on the edge. So we're gonna showcase this a little bit later on when it looks more proper to showcase. Now we are fiddling around with placeholders, right? So it doesn't look exciting enough. Banners for cities, keeps, on houses, capes, and other types of banners you can carry and have banners in your city, right? So we want to expand that a lot. And we try to also make sure that you can see this tabard with specific colors and logos in all 360 angles, so it helps you to identify friends from foes. So I think this will help for a lot of things. It's a lot of cool thing to run around as a guild with your own theme, right? But also helping identifying, and you will see the cities being decorated with this eventually as well. So hopefully, that's gonna be an enjoyable feature as well. Obviously, one of the big quality of life things, the broker updates. You guys have been asking for that. It's going to be very powerful. You will be able to search on exactly what you're looking for. That specific trinkets, you're going to be able to search for that. So just a big quality of life. Then we have another question mark, obviously, as you can see here, which we are not revealing at this point. So we are planning on something additional here. And we have, so as you can see in Sprint 7, we are looking to expand the task system. It was a huge success. People have been enjoying it. It's a good way to get into the game, getting experience in gold and so on. And we will update that with daily boosts. So if you are one of those players that have limited game time, you can get a boost by doing those daily and weeklies without getting too much behind and farm as much as those that may have more time, right? And in Sprint 8, we're planning to expand that for group tasks. So a guild could take a group task to raid a dungeon, which means you may have to kill X amount of mobs and then the boss within that time frame together as a group, and you all get rewarded for doing so. That will also be daily and weekly boosts, so you can go in and do those fun, great rewards. Especially if you have limited game time, you will get that little boost additionally. We are not getting a static replacement on the graveyard for Halloween this year. The schedule doesn't hold it. There's been so many things that we have to... The normal schedule had to be put on hold just to go on debugging things, making sure that the server is running correct and so on. That have taken a little bit of time for us. So what we are going to try to do is some manual spawn events during Halloween, if that is possible. I can't promise it, but that is our hope. And yeah, so we have seen some of the reports where there are specific ways of logging out in dungeons. Obviously, we are looking into that to see. If I'm not mistaken, it was due to Nvidia's GeForce Now thing, right? Or am I mistaken? I'm not too up to date on that. I just saw the reports. How often does relic drops? So that's one of the big balance things, right? We have multiple types of relics. We want to drop multiple ones at the same time, which means you can't surg one relic and that's it. You have to either spread the forces or go for one of them, right? The community voted for Dimension Wars and the Relic won, looking at the votes by a few hundred votes. But they were quite close, and as I mentioned, there's only a fraction of the player base that will interact with the Dimension runs, while everyone always, at any time, persistently can interact with the different relics. So more players, including smaller groups, if you're not in the Zerg, will benefit more from the Relic War. But that doesn't mean we're not gonna create the Dimension runs, right? So obviously, if there's a gate opening, the Zerg will go there, lock it down, and that's it. You will not be able to participate.
So all in all, this is a great patch. The Relic War sounds awesome. The guild logo, emblem system, the performance, everything on this roadmap looks awesome. Beside, just my personal opinion, the Dimension runs. Implementing a feature for just a small portion of people. And if you want to play Dark and Darker gameplay, you can play Dark and Darker. You don't need Mortal Online to do that. Don't implement a Dimension run system when you have a Tinram Arena there. Use this instead. It's just my personal opinion. But of course, your opinion can differ. So please leave your opinion in the comments about the whole patch. Would be awesome, by the way. And please share this video with your friends. Would be awesome, by the way. Everyone helps. And special thanks to all these supporters, of course. Carmel, Paladin Life, Lucario, Ronus, Patronax, Cologne Bulldog, and all the others, of course. Never forget to sprint 7 and 8 hard, I guess. I mean party hard, and see you all next time. Goodbye.